Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's John here. I do videos on investing, generating income online, as well as credit, and got a great, very compelling press release today on investing. So I've been certainly following Bitcoin over the last month and a half, and been very impressed with how stable it's been. I personally don't. I'm not investing in Bitcoin directly or crypto directly, but I do kind of invest in the companies that have exposure to it, like for example, PayPal, Tesla. And then also the ARK funds, where they actually invest there in GBTC, and then also have some exposure to GBTC as well, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. But basically, kind of gone from over the weekend finding some clips from Ray Dalio talking about the good probability of Bitcoin being outlawed, to all of a sudden now all this newfound optimism. Yesterday I did kind of highlighted a documentary where 60 central banks all over the world are taking a look and testing their digital currency, so as to do digital currency. And now today what we have is we've got Goldman Sachs. We have Goldman Sachs, yes, the huge behemoth. Goldman Sachs is talking about how they're going to make Bitcoin and crypto available to their clients. And this actually makes sense. Yeah, I shouldn't say it makes sense. What it is this is where Bitcoin and cryptocurrency makes sense to me, because the way that I see it is all of a sudden these, large clients that Goldman Sachs has, they're going to say, okay, well, what should we do here? Let's maybe do a 0.5%, 1%, 2%, 3% exposure to this new asset class that is kind of going crazy here. And that's what makes a whole lot of sense. Like I've watched Tom Lee talk about, and I've got a video on Tom Lee where he talks about the Bitcoin price, that he's projecting for 2021 as well. But basically, that's what makes sense to me when you say, okay, these different investors, families with lots of assets, or whatever the investor is, they want to expose themselves 1%, 2%, 3% to Bitcoin and go that route. There's a lot of kind of Bitcoin cowboys out there that are doing only Bitcoin, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. But basically, let's take a look here. So this is going to be about the Goldman Sachs information release, press release, I guess, on making cryptocurrency and Bitcoin available to their clients.
Goldman Sachs is getting close to offering Bitcoin investment products to its wealthy clients. Hugh Son joins us now. Does Goldman know Bitcoin was like $4,000 like 18 months ago, and now it's like 57,000? This is part of their expertise. Hugh?
Well, Joe, I think those dizzying charts that everybody is looking at and salivating over, that's one of the reasons why Goldman and others are getting into this. They are in a client business. So when clients of Goldman Sachs or clients of Morgan Stanley, call up their financial advisor and say, should I have an allocation to Bitcoin? Look at what it's done. Should I have a 1%, 2%, 3% allocation to this emerging asset class? They've had to say, well, as a firm, we can't really recommend that. Well, that changes, and that changes very, very soon. So as we report exclusively on CNBC.com, Goldman Sachs is very close, and in the second quarter will begin offering Bitcoin and other digital asset-related investments to its private wealth management clients. This is sort of the Tony private bank of Goldman Sachs. They really target people and endowments with at least 25 million in assets under management.
Yeah, I understand, and they probably do see the demand now. But they are supposedly are known to be the smartest, the savviest, one of the best firms at analyzing these things, Hugh. And it's just taken a while. I mean, guys like, Andreessen or even Paul Tudor Jones or Druckenmiller, they are so far behind the curve on this. And that's fine that they finally are coming around with it. But you see my point. Thanks. Maybe it's an asset class at 58,000. Thanks for that, Goldman.
Well, Joe, they are of the belief that we are still at the very, very beginning stages of this new nation asset class. And if you think about it, it's a little more than a decade old. So when you look at the investment banks, they are at the nexus of overlapping regulatory regimes. They're not. They obviously have a higher threshold, given their role in the last financial crisis, about getting into new and speculative asset classes. So it's easier for hedge fund managers and the like to plow into this. It is, however, more meaningful that a Goldman Sachs will, pierce that barrier and be, one of the very first investment banks to say, you know what, we legitimize this asset class. We think it's not going away. There's a future to this. We don't know what the future looks like, but we know it's going to exist in the future, or we believe it's going to exist in the future. And I think that's the news today. Go.
Hey, Hugh, when Morgan Stanley made this announcement, and I think there was a bit of maybe even a misunderstanding publicly about what they were doing. Morgan Stanley was not allowing the investors to effectively invest directly in Bitcoin, meaning you were not buying actual Bitcoins. You were buying instruments, funds, grayscale, and the like to get into it. In the case of Goldman Sachs, are you going to be buying directly into the cryptocurrencies themselves, or are you going to be buying instruments which creates a middleman? Maybe Goldman's creating the instruments themselves.
Yeah. Well, and Morgan Stanley, just to be more specific on that, Andrew, nice to be with you, man. Specifically, Morgan Stanley talked about investing in Mike Novogratz's Galaxy Digital funds, and I do believe that's a fair close approximation of actually owning a physical Bitcoin, as they call it, closer than Grayscale, which is a trust, and the price moves around a lot. Obviously, there's a gap between the physical and the trust price. Now, specifically with Goldman, and I encourage people to read the story, but look, they say that there's a full spectrum, and these are the words of the executives I spoke to, of exposures that they're thinking about, not just physical Bitcoin, as we call it, but also derivatives and also traditional fund investments. So I think they're looking at it very holistically. They think that still, despite what Joe said, that they are still early in the game, and that in hindsight this will look like very, very savvy move on their part.
They very well might be early. There's people that talk about, you divide the 21 million into a certain percentage of the global financial system, you get numbers like 500,000 and a million. That's not my point. My point is just that they may be early, but they're not as early as so many other people. And you can see today, Hugh, it would normally Goldman Sachs, the endorsement of Goldman Sachs stocks or the Bitcoin's down 2%. So it moved more, I guess, when some others on the way from 4,000 or 400 up to where they are. But this is a major event for Goldman in a white shoe investment bank to sort of give the endorsement there, Hugh. We appreciate that. Good story. Thanks.
Yeah, I'd say certainly a big event. I was actually really wondering when the day would come that I would hear about Goldman Sachs announcing getting into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and making it available to their clients. So there you go. Focusing on clients with assets under management of 25 million or more, which is those are some big clients, big clients there. So I'd say that's some pretty big news for with respect to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Certainly some big news after Ray Dalio over the weekend said that it's the probability of it being outlawed is good probability. So I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes. But for now, I'm sticking to what I know, which is GBT, Grayscale, Bitcoin Trust, PayPal, Tesla, and then whatever other kind of publicly traded company that I like the business, and then they're actually starting to kind of do whatever, give themselves as a business exposure to Bitcoin. But I'm not going into Bitcoin directly anytime soon. Let me know if you want to see more videos on Bitcoin. If you want to go out and find out some bigger banks, some bigger investment banks, some bigger, more kind of older school traditional investment groups, what they're saying about Bitcoin, let me know. I've got a great video too on Mark Andreessen and him saying that Bitcoin is basically right now, right now Bitcoin is the internet of 1994. Actually, the video clip, the interview was several years ago, so it was back in 2014. So that was almost 7 years ago. So that would be like the internet of 2000 or 2001, right? But it was, during the interview, he did actually say that Bitcoin was the internet of 1994, according to him. So I'll put that video here. You can check it out. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. If you want to see more videos, let me know in the comments down below. And if you find value in any of this and you like some of this research on Bitcoin, go ahead and think about subscribing or hitting that alerts bell and let me know. All right, take care. Have a good one.